Hi guys, it's been a while, but it's good to be back on video and chatting with you guys. So of recent, I've been getting loads and loads of DMs and messages about sales. People want me to look at their CVs, talk about sales experience. So I struggled a bit to decide how to do this series, but I've decided to make it more like a sales training where we'll start all the way from the scratch and we'll talk about skills, roles, structure, how you could prep yourself, and we'll start all the way from the basics. Like if you really want to get into sales and you have no skills. So first of all, I would want to introduce the concept of inside sales. I think that's a good way to start because it's something that's become very common these days, and you see that a lot. Like when I started as a salesperson for B2B, that's business to business, we really didn't do inside sales. Because inside sales requires that you be a salesperson that is working remotely with your clients. So what they do, they use like digital or electronic tools like VCs, email, phone calls. They can jump on Zoom or Google Meet to have conversations, to do demo, to consult, to have meetings, as well as use analytical tools to manage their whole sales pipeline flow. So from prospecting to nurturing or closing deals. So they're using CRM, Sales Navigator, different analytical and social analytical tools to do that. Now, of course, this is really talking about people that are into B2B. So if you want to do sales where it's business to business, that's where inside sales has become the new one, where people can do that remotely without really physical meeting the clients. And it's become very common post-COVID, because actually just before COVID, but COVID really validated it because companies realized that businesses were ready to really engage with salespeople in that manner. So if you're about starting your sales career, I think that's a good way to start, to consider taking up an inside sales role. I'll talk about the different roles, the skill sets and the competencies you need, but first of all, just talk about the concept of inside sales. That's where it differs for people that do field or direct sales. So they go to the customers, they go physically and meet them. Now, if you're doing inside sales, irrespective of what you're doing, it could be an inbound sales or outbound sales. I would explain. So inbound sales is where almost like the clients or customers are coming to you. And you see that a lot in a big tech. If you have like a really defined brand, think about like a Google and all that, people just already know that I can get this service. So they want to reach out to the Google agents or partners and tell them, hey, how can you guys support me with this, this, and this? It's different for sometimes new SaaS companies, new enterprise companies, where you now have to look for the clients because they don't know you. So that becomes more like outbound. Outbound is where you're cold calling, you're hunting for the business, you're looking for the sales. Now, for inside sales professionals, sometimes depending on the company or the role you're applying for, you have to do both. You have to have the ability to do inside, so prospect and manage a client when they are the ones reaching to your organization because they went for a marketing event or they saw something of what you guys are doing on your website or social media platform. Or you should be ready to do outbound sales, like really go cold calling, looking for people that need your organization services on LinkedIn and approaching them and mailing and texting and all that. So you could do both, and you could do hybrid and on-site. So I'm just using this term so you understand when you see the role. Hybrid just means where do you work from? Are you going to work sometimes from home, sometimes from the office? And on-site is when they want you to do it from the office. But the key thing about inside sales is that you are engaging your clients virtually and you're doing all the whole sales cycle with them virtually. So that's inside sales. I see that a lot if you're interested in SaaS, big tech, even telcos do that. And inside sales, it is not call center. That's not what you're doing. And it's not even telesales per se, because you're not just prospecting. You would even manage and nurture, close deals, and manage the clients. But we'll talk about ways that companies also segment that. So with that, I think that's a good introduction into what inside sales is. The next session, I will talk about the different roles you can apply for, the skills and the competence, and maybe a bit of how people structure inside sales, and we will take it from there. So good to see you, and happy Wednesday.